Today is Wednesday, Parashat Lecha. We're learning the halacha pesuka from Chok L'Yisrael. Shemone ma'alot yesh b'tzedakah zu lema'ala mizu. There are 8 levels of charity, each higher than the next. We'll start with the highest level. Ma'ala gedola she'en lema'ala mimena. The highest level that nothing is above it. Amachazik B'yad Yisrael amach v'noten lo matana is someone who holds up and strengthens the hand of a Jewish person who's down. V'noten lo matana gives him a gift, or alva'a, or a loan, or oseh shutfut, or makes a partnership with him, or mamtzi lo melacha, or finds him work. Could be also giving him inventory to sell and then pay after he sold the merchandise. All these are ways כדי לחזק ידו שלא יצטרך לבריאות. So in order to strengthen his hand so that he will not need the help of others. ולא ישאל ועל זה נאמר וחזקת בו. So they will not have to ask for assistance from others. In other words, he'll be earning his own living on his own. That's the best, highest form of charity. Just like it says in the Pasuk, and you strengthen him. When you see somebody who's faltering, hold him up. How do you do that? By giving him some inventory to sell, teaching him a trade, providing him with a job, or giving him a loan or a gift. But not charity. Pachot mizeh, less than that. Hanoten tzedakah le'ani. When a person gives tzedakah to a poor person, and he doesn't know who he's giving to, and the poor man doesn't know from whom he receives it. One way to get this done, and close to this, is one who would give it to what? To a charity organization. And when you give it to a charity organization, you don't know who will be the final user of those funds. And the person doesn't know where those funds came from who the person who donated for that organization. And it says here, a person should not give funds to a charity organization unless he knows that the person who's in charge of it is a person who's ne'eman, trustworthy, and knows how to act properly concerning those type of situations of how to help people, etc. So somebody who's trustworthy or running that organization, then you can rely on him and give it, and that will be one way where you don't know who's the final recipient, and the recipient doesn't know who's really the giver, the person who gave. So we went through 2 levels. Now underneath that, the 3rd level below, פחות מזה שיודע נותן למי נותן, ולא ידע אני ממי לוקח. כגון לגולי החכמים שהולכים בסתר ומשליכים המעות בפתחי העניים. So less than that is when you know who you're giving to, but the poor man doesn't know who received it from, like people used to do the charity by putting money at the doors of the people who are poor, so that when he opens the door, he finds it there, or leaving him certain things for use. And he says this is the proper way to do things. And it's a great way to do it. If the people of the charity organizations, you cannot rely on them, then you can do it that way, where you drop it in the door, you do it in a way where the recipient doesn't know where it's coming from. Pachot mizeh, level below that. That the poor man knows who he's receiving from, and the one who's giving doesn't know who he's giving to. And he gives an example here, like they used to do, where the people would walk down, let's say, a street where there would be some needy people, and they would drop the funds behind their back. They don't see who's going to pick it up. And when the people come to pick it up, they know who they received it from. But the one who gave doesn't know who he gave it to. Pachot mizeh, less than that, we're down to the 5th level. When you give to a poor person, directly, so the recipient knows who's receiving from, the one who's giving knows who's giving it to, but it's being given before the poor person asks for help. And I've seen really some very sensitive and nice people that are helpful, that before you have a chance to ask, they realize what's the need of that person, and they give it even before you ask. That's also a level of tzedakah. Below that, and we're down to a sixth level, when you give to a needy person, after he's asked for it. So he asks for it, you give him what he needs, and you give him properly what is necessary. That's a level. Then less than that, we're now to the seventh level. Giving a person less than what he needs, less than is really proper. He needs, let's say, $100, you give him only 10. That's less than what is really needed. But you give it to him cheerfully, with a good attitude, with besever panim yafot, with a smile. Less than that, which is the eighth and final level, when you give to somebody tzedakah, grudgingly, with a bad attitude, with a sour face, that's the least of the ways of giving charity. Now the Rama adds here in parentheses that he says, "Ve'al kol panim," in any case, lo yitpera adam b'tzedakah shenoten. Person should not boast, should not brag about the charity that he gives. If he brags about it, not only is not rewarded, but he's even he's been punished for it. Nevertheless, if you dedicate something for charity, let's say in a building, or you gave something to be used in an organization, sometimes there are certain things that are in a synagogue or in a place of charity where you give, let's say, a building, or you give a portion of a building or a room or something like that. It's permitted to put his name on it. So it will be as a remembrance for him. And it is proper to do so. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.